It's lesson 9 of our distance learning series, and it's time to check your understanding of the ideas we've been uncovering about forces. So today, you're going to need your science journal with all of your journal slips because you can refer to these documents to think through the various questions. And then later on, you can get the Google form link that's posted under today's Schoology folder. I just want to take a moment though, because it would be a really good time to organize your science journal or your digital files saved on your Chromebook. We don't know exactly how long we'll be learning virtually, so it's up to you to make sure you're keeping a system that works. I might suggest that you label the corner of each journal slip with the designation DL for distance learning and the lesson number. For example, our first journal slip was the Mosamac viewing guide. We actually used that slip for both lessons number 1 and number 2, and as you can see on the screen, I've labeled the slip DL number 1 and number 2. If you're using a journal, you can put this on the right-hand side. If you're working digitally, I would make a new folder called Science 8 Distance Learning, and then if you're working digitally on your slips, I would rename them with DL and the lesson number and put all of those digital files in that folder. Here on the screen, you can just see all of the journal slips that we have thus far. If you want to take a moment to organize yourself, you can do so now. Before you take the form, I want to quickly review the big ideas we've uncovered through our investigations. First, we determined that forces could be a push or a pull. By analyzing those Strange events from Mosamac, we saw that there's actually 3 types of forces: applied forces, friction, and gravity. As we moved on to our mini investigations with fingers and our rubber bands, we found out that forces always work in pairs. And then when we analyzed the cart collision, we found that these pairs of forces work in opposite directions. And at the moment of impact, when we looked at the metal rings, we saw that each cart applied a force to the other. This one was pushing on the left side, the left was pushing on the right, and the forces were equal in strength but opposite in direction. The carts even seemed to stop and not move at that point of collision as each one was applying an equal but opposite force on the other. We then investigated forces with a tug-of-war simulation, and we saw that 2 forces that are equal in strength but opposite in direction can cancel each other, and then there's no net movement because the net force was 0. We say that these forces were balanced. But we also figured out that if one force was stronger than the other, the forces were what we call unbalanced, and this could actually cause a change in motion. We saw that in our tug-of-war simulation when we looked at the sum of the forces. You can see here we added up 150 and 50 in the opposite direction. The sum was 100, and the blue side actually won. So now you're ready to take your Google form for your check for understanding. The link is posted on Schoology, and it's 10 questions. Remember that these questions will have you apply your learning, and now that you're at home, talk through each question out loud. Talking through your thinking can help you figure out what you really know well and what you're still grappling with. This is only one check. We still need more experiences with forces to start developing that deep understanding. We'll pick up with some more investigations in the coming lessons. As always, the Science 8 teachers are available for questions during our office hours. And until tomorrow, just keep thinking and keep learning.